What's up, everybody, man, homies? It's your boy, GomeyTV, and we back, man. Last week, we had a killing, man. We killed it in college football. Almost swept the whole board, except for, right here. Utah at home. Got beat up by Texas Tech. And then we didn't do so hot following in the NFL. But, man, that's last week's business. This week, man, I got something good. I got something good for y'all, man. I think that there's a lot of good matchups this week in college football. So, a lot of good games in the NFL. Doubleheader Monday night. Let's just jump right into it. Let's do it. First up, man. Honestly, and one of my favorites right here. Florida State on the road, 6.5 point favorites against Virginia. FSU obviously looked super impressive so far this season. They are number 1 in total yards, 2 in rushing, averaging 58 points per game. Number 1 in college football right now. Top 20 defense. Virginia, they look pretty good as well. Good offensively. Defense is kind of lacking there for them. Not technically ranked in the top 25 yet, but they are a decent team. I think this is a really a game where, even though Virginia's at home, FSU's talent and how well they're playing right now this year, I think just shows out, and they should get a win and a big cover here, I think, 41-24. Definitely, I think this will be a double-digit win for Florida State. Moving on. TCU versus Arizona State. Arizona State, 3.5 point home favorites. This is also a good Friday night matchup, man. Obviously, both of these quarterbacks, Hoover and I think Sam Levitt, this should be a really good matchup between the two of those guys. Top 10 passing efficiency, I think for TCU, 4th overall in passing yards. Arizona State averaging over 200 yards per game rushing. Arizona State does have the better defense of the two teams. But I think that TCU overall has a lot more talent on their team. I think Arizona State with a home field advantage, but that's just not enough. I think the edge is TCU here, exploiting ASU, similar to the Baylor game. High-powered, air raid offense. I think they're able to expose the secondary for Arizona State, and not so many turnovers. Baylor had a lot of yards in that game, and they would turn the ball over in the red zone, and that's kind of what led to Arizona State's win. And I think TCU's a lot better with the ball and, potentially even better offensively. So give me TCU to win this game outright as a dog on the road, 31-27. I think this will be a close game, but I think TCU win this game outright. Moving on, man. USC on the road, 6.5 point favorites versus Illinois. Obviously, Illinois getting beat up last week against Indiana on the road. So, dropped a lot of stock in Illinois. USC, though, man, they've looked really good with Jaden Maiava at quarterback, I believe. I think I just butchered that. But USC offensively looking super good. Very explosive this year. Looking good defensively. I think USC just overall has the more talented roster here against Illinois. Although I do think this is a good opportunity for Illinois to have a bounce back at home game. I just think, man, my heart, my head, and USC being favored for a reason, man. I think they go ahead and get the win and the cover. They just look better overall. I got them winning this game 34-23. Excited to see how they look, too, on the road. Should be a good game. Next up, man, Notre Dame, 4.5 point favorites on the road versus Arkansas. Another interesting matchup, man. Notre Dame's obviously dropped some stock from where they were ranked preseason after the loss to Miami, and then I think Texas A&m. Arkansas, on the other hand, was rolling until just this weekend, and they lose to Memphis in a heartbreaker. Yeah, I think Notre Dame obviously has the more talented roster. They've had the tougher schedule so far up until this point. Arkansas, though, they do potentially have the weapons on offense with Taylor Green and wide receivers. I think to go after that Notre Dame secondary, and especially right now with some injuries. But I think that Notre Dame's rushing game, I believe that Arkansas let up like over 100 and something yards in the last couple weeks to two different rushers. So obviously with Love and I can't remember the other running back they have starting to really get going over there for Notre Dame. Give me them on the road to cover. I think they win this one. They should win it comfortably over Arkansas, 33-24. Next up, man, another really big, really good game. LSU on the road against Ole Miss. Right now, Ole Miss 1.5-point home favorites. Man, this game is a little bit disappointing for me as an LSU fan. I feel like their offense really hasn't lived up to their expectations. Their defense has been a lot better, so I'll give them that. The LSU defense has been really good. I think they're in the top 10 in points, top 5 maybe in points allowed. Ole Miss, on the other hand, their offense has been extremely explosive after the loss of some weapons and obviously Jackson Dart. Hasn't missed a beat. Ole Miss has played a hard schedule as well. They have had some tough wins. I think that this game is an opportunity for Ole Miss to kind of show their offensive power over LSU, and I think they get the win at home. I think it gives them an edge. So give me Ole Miss to win at home and cover 34-31 in a shootout. Heartbreaker for my boys down there, LSU, man. Next up, we got Indiana, 7.5-point road favorites versus Iowa. This one's pretty short and simple and sweet. We're going to give it a kiss. We're going to keep it simple for you. Yeah, man, Indiana, 7.5-point favorite versus Iowa. I just think Indiana by a mile. Super impressed with how they looked last week against Illinois at home. Against Iowa, very similar matchup. I just think they're better defensively. They're better offensively. Give me Indiana to cover, even though it's on the road, man. Indiana 27-13. I think they get it done. Next up, Auburn versus Texas A&m. Texas A&m 6.5-point home favorites. Texas A&m has the better offense. Auburn, Jackson Arnold, he's looked decent. He's looked nice, and they've shown moments and flashes of a lot of potential and some brilliance. But I think their offensive line in that game against Oklahoma got really exposed. They gave up a ton of pressures. It is a revenge game, and at home, I think that's the biggest edge for Texas A&m, and I think that their offensive power proves worthy here. They have a good defensive front as well. Texas A&m that can get after Auburn, similar to what Oklahoma did, and I think that's a big edge as well. So, give me Texas A&m to win this game, and I do think they cover Texas A&m 34-24. And we're going to keep it rolling, man. Let's keep it going. Next up, Arizona on the road versus Iowa State. Iowa State 6.5-point home favorites. This was an interesting game looking at it. Obviously, Iowa State being ranked high in the top 15. But when I looked at the game closer, it's a good quarterback matchup. Arizona with Noah Fafita versus Rocco Beck for Iowa State. But Arizona has a better offense and a better defensive rating overall than Iowa State. And they've really had similar strengths of schedule, and they both played Kansas State. Now, albeit Iowa State and Kansas State was the first game of the season in an international game, and Arizona just played Kansas State, I just feel like I've seen a lot better and just overall more impressed with Arizona with their offense, their defense. And I think that they're not only a live dog to win this game on the road, but I definitely think they can keep it close and cover a 6.5-point spread. So give me Arizona to cover. And, man, if you're feeling lucky, you might sprinkle a little on that money line on that, because I think those guys could win it outright, man. So give me Arizona to cover. 6.5 is too much to lay Iowa State. Next up, man, Alabama versus Georgia. Georgia laying 3.5 at home. Basically, since Alabama broke my heart at the opening game of the season, I just can't get there with them. Defensive battle, I think, for this game. Ty Simpson for Alabama. You got Gunnar Stockton for Georgia. Both of these offenses have shown flashes. They've been good in moments, but kind of struggled altogether. And I just feel like trusting Georgia at home over Alabama is where I want to put my money. So give me Georgia at home to win and cover 27-20. I think Alabama's offense is going to struggle on the road in Georgia. So give me the Bulldogs, man. All right, man. Last up for our college slate, Oregon on the road versus Penn State. Penn State laying 3.5 points. This one was an interesting game, too. Oregon, extremely explosive on offense, averaging 50 points per game. Penn State is better defensively, but Oregon is still actually a top 12 defense. Really good. So, Drew Allar playing against a defense like Oregon's, I think they're actually going to be really good. They're extremely fast. I think Oregon can win this game outright. And I think this is going to be one of my favorite underdog bets. Oregon to win this game outright. Nonetheless, I think they can keep it close within 3.5. So give me Oregon to win outright 31-28. I think they can cover a 3.5 point spread in that game. All right, man. Moving on to the NFL. You know what that means, y'all? I got to get my water break. Oh, yeah. Nothing like some crisp, cold water. All right, man. First game up, man. We got Thursday night football, y'all. Seahawks, 1.5 point road favorites versus Arizona Cardinals. Interesting game, man. The Cardinals offense, which kind of relies on their run game, is going to be obviously without James Conner. So I think it'll be interesting. Their passing offense has not been good. Their offensive line has been giving up a lot of pressures to Kyler Murray. He hasn't really been in sync with Marvin Harrison Jr. and some of their other weapons to get downfield. Seattle, on the other hand, defensively, they have the second best defense in points allowed at 15.7 points per game allowed to their opponents. And their offense, on the other hand, has looked pretty explosive, very explosive, with Jackson Smith and Jigba getting downfield. Sam Darnold stepping in over there. Hasn't really missed a beat. Their run game hasn't looked too good, I think, but Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet will get going, and we kind of saw that this last week, albeit against the Saints, but Seattle looked pretty good. I think that momentum can carry over into Thursday night, and I think Seattle can win this game and cover 24-16. I think their defense is going to be a little bit too much for their Cardinals to overpower. Next up, man, we got an international game, a Sunday morning game, depending on where you're at. Early game, Vikings, 2.5 point favorites versus the Steelers. I think that the Vikings, basically to keep it simple, I think the Vikings offense under Carson Wentz looks a lot better than with J.J. McCarthy. I think that the game just moves a little bit too fast for J.J. McCarthy, even though he got to sit out his rookie season and, get a lot of film and study under him. It's a whole nother realm to be in the game live, not preseason, like regular season game speed. And I think those first games kind of proved a little bit too fast for him, as well as the offensive line for Minnesota just getting heavily beaten down. The Steelers, on the other hand, their defense has looked pretty good. They've definitely been very good in turnovers. 31st in rushing defense. So that's kind of tough. Oh, I'm sorry. The Steelers are 31st in rushing offense, but their defense has been obviously doing well. So that's something of a concern for me, and I think that's something that the Vikings defense can take advantage of. All in all, I think I could put more trust in the Vikings offense than the Steelers offense. I think the Vikings can win this game 24-13. Next up, man, I've been dreading calling this game, so I'm just going to try and smooth over it. The Saints on the road versus the Bills. Bills laying 15.5 point favorite right now. Unfortunately, I think this is a blowout spot. I know that last week I guaranteed a Saints cover, man, and I don't think I can do it this week. Not a lot going on for us, especially this week. If anything, maybe, 2 touchdowns is a lot of points. 15 is a lot of points to cover in the NFL, but the Bills are absolutely rolling, and the Saints haven't really figured it out on offense. Rattler's shown, I think he's coming along, but he's just still hasn't really got there yet. And the Saints don't really have any legitimate weapons on offense, and they haven't figured out a way to utilize Shaheed. Give me the Bills to cover 34-13. Next up, Titans on the road versus the Houston Texans. Texans laying 7.5 at home. Oh man, both of these teams haven't got a win. Struggling divisional game here. Titans are literally in the bottom 10 or worse in every statistical category you could think of, which is horrible. Texans, on the other hand, they do have a decent defense. Coming into the season, they built around some positions there and had some key players come in. However, their offensive line has been horrendous. Even though they have C.J. Stroud and some weapons, they really haven't been able to get a run game going or protect him long enough to get anything really sufficient going on offense for him. So this is going to be an interesting game, but I think it'll be a get-right spot at home for the Texans. I think they can get the win, get the cover. Cam Ward, he looks great. He's coming along. But I just feel like the Texans' offense has more firepower at home with a better defense. Give me the Texans to cover 23-13. Moving on, man. Browns on the road versus the Lions. Lions laying 9.5. Obviously, the Lions, super good home team. Browns, top 5 defensively overall. They just struggle offensively. Obviously, the Browns have some problems covering on the road as well against the spread. It's a lot of points to lay, but I think the Lions at home, they have what it takes. And like they did in the Bears game, the Lions are a team that will just continue to kind of go after and take deep shots down the field and play action and trick plays and put points on the board. So 9.5, I'm okay with laying that at home with Detroit over a team like the Browns. Give me the Lions to win and cover 27-13. I think they have what it takes, and I don't think the Browns can keep up offensively. Commanders, 1.5 point favorites versus the Falcons. Falcons obviously coming off of a super disappointing week, man. Getting blown out and shut out by the Carolina Panthers. The Falcons' offense is 31st in points, which is extremely concerning. They have a lot of talent, and they move the ball, and they get a lot of yards, but their red zone efficiency is extremely bad. The Commanders, they have a great offensive and defensive line. Obviously, Jaden Daniels, it looks like he'll be back for this game. Even without him, I think the Falcons, the best thing the Falcons have going into this game is their pass rush and their defensive front. And I think that for a team like the Commanders, when you have dual threat quarterbacks, mobile quarterbacks that can roll out and get outside the pocket and run the ball, it helps negate that front four, that front seven pressure that they can bring. And aside from that, I think the Commanders' offensive line is just that much better that they can establish a running game and just get it going. I would like to say this is an opportunity for the Falcons to have a bounce-back game at home, but I would much rather trust the Commanders. Only laying 1.5, I'm all over it. Give me the Commanders to win and cover 24-20. Next up, man, Eagles, 3.5 point road favorites versus the Buccaneers. This is another good game, man. Possible playoff matchup here. We got the Eagles, good offense. I'm trying to read my notes. The key matchup in this game is going to be the Eagles offense versus the Bucs defense. The Eagles offense, number 1 in run plays called. The Buccaneers defense is a top 5 rush defense, running defense. So that matchup right there, I think whoever wins that matchup will end up winning the game. The Bucs at home, I think that they have enough talent to at least keep the game close. Last week against the Rams, the Eagles were, going to not only not cover, but lose that game. They blocked a field goal, which they ran back for a touchdown as time expired to get the cover. And I think, barring that, the Bucs have enough talent at home to at least cover. Maybe not win outright, but I think they can cover a 3-point spread. So give me the Bucs to cover in like a 23-20 game. Give me the points at home. I think they can cover against the Eagles just because I think it'll be a slow-paced, run-heavy game, and I think that their defense can hold up. Moving on, man, we have the Panthers on the road versus the Patriots. Patriots laying 5.5 points. The Patriots, man, they're struggling to score. Kind of like we talked about the Falcons. as well as their offensive line is struggling to protect Drake May. They're one of the highest pressure rates of offensive lines, which is not good if you're a quarterback or a wide receiver. Man, the Panthers coming off obviously a big win and a shutout against the Falcons. Oh man, I'm having a tough time today, you guys. What's going on? The Panthers caused 3 turnovers. The Patriots had 4 turnovers last week. I don't think that's going to roll over into this week. I think the Patriots have a good run defense, and I think that the Panthers are going to turn back into the automatic fade after their high moment. After, like, the Panthers to me are kind of like the Saints, or maybe like, I don't want to say the Raiders, some of the worst teams in the AFC and NFC, the Jets. They're only going to have a few wins a year. So, coming off of their first win for the Panthers, I don't think they're going to get back-to-back wins. I think the Patriots at home can rally. Give me the Patriots to win at home, 17-10. I think they can cover a 5-point spread. Next up, man, Chargers, 6.5-point favorites on the road versus the Giants in New York. Storyline of this game is Jackson Dart, man, will get the start, his first NFL start. I'm excited to see him play. I knew this moment would come. I am super high on Jackson Dart, although that doesn't mean he's going to come out here and take off in his first few games or his first season. I do think he's got a lot of potential, and I'm super high on him. The Chargers, however, top 10 defense. The Giants, the worst defense in yards, giving up 420 yards per game on average, and a terrible passing defense. So, obviously, it's a terrible matchup for them going up against Justin Herbert, who's on fire, with a bunch of offensive weapons. Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnson, remember, he's catching the ball nowadays. Ladd McConkey, obviously getting the running game established with Hampton. I think the Chargers just all over this one against the Giants. Jackson Dart, I think, will have some good moments, and I think he'll lead him down on a couple good drives. But I don't think he has what it takes against a really stout defense like the Chargers, especially for his first start. Give me the Chargers to win this one, 31-17, and cover. Next up, man, Jags on the road versus the 49ers, and the 49ers 3.5-point home favorites, man. The 49ers have figured out a way to cover, or not to cover, I'm sorry, but to win in all of these games in extreme fashion, in close fashion. The Jags, I think the storyline of this game that is being overlooked is the Jags have a top 5 rushing offense. They've been able to run the ball really well this year, and they have a top 5 rushing defense. They've been able to stop the run pretty well this year. The 49ers, obviously some QB issues, so I'm not sure at the moment if Brock Purdy's coming back. It looks like Mac Jones is going to be good to go. He's been practicing, obviously limited with the knee injury, the MCL strain. I think the Jags are a live dog in this game, but I definitely think that they can keep it close, and I could think that given how close the 49ers games have been, I think the Jaguars have one of the better defenses that they've played, and I think that they can keep this game within 3 points, if not win it outright. So give me the Jags to cover. 2017, I think they can keep this game close. Probably a late field goal wins this game, and that's enough for the Jags to bank it. Next up, man, we have the Colts versus the Rams, and forgive me because I actually do not have the spread on this game pulled up, so let me grab it for you guys. Rams 3.5-point home favorites. This is going to be an interesting game. A lot of people are waiting to see if the Colts turn into a pumpkin, but they look legit. I think that this is going to be a big test. Obviously, the Rams, a playoff team, a contender here at home. The Colts offense continues to roll. Defensively, the Colts have been really sneakily good. Really good front seven. The Rams, obviously, toughest opponent for them, and I think this is a bounce back game at home for the Rams after that devastating loss to the Eagles off of the blocked kick. But give me the Colts, man, to win outright. I think the Colts keep it going. I think they're the Cinderella team of the year, and I think they can beat the Rams. And I like them as a live dog. And even if they don't win, I think they can keep it close enough to cover their 3.5 points. So give me the Colts to cover, and we gonna sprinkle some of that on the money line, man. Next up, Bears, 1.5-point favorites versus the Raiders. Raiders, one of the worst running teams in the league. The Bears, looks like last week against the Cowboys, they finally, Caleb Williams finally got some things going on offense. He looked really good. Looked like he's kind of getting into his groove there. So hopefully that momentum will carry on into this game. And I think the Bears have just a little bit more offensive weapons. I think the over is probably the best bet on this game. Geno Smith's been, passing the ball really good, and the Raiders' passing offenses look really good. But I think all in all, the momentum from the Bears' win carries over into this game, and I think they get another win here and a cover in a close game, in a high-scoring game, probably 27-24. Give me the Bears. I just think that I've seen more out of the Bears than the Raiders. The Raiders really just have a terrible offensive line, and they got to figure some things out because they can't seem to get anything going. Next up, man, Ravens, 2.5-point road favorites versus the Chiefs. One of the few times that we'll see the Chiefs as underdogs at home. And initially I'm like, oh yeah, I want to take the Ravens. This is a good game for them. Another bounce back because the Ravens just keep on losing these games that they should win. And Derrick Henry just keeps on fumbling the ball on these late drives. I want to take the Ravens, but they are the 31st worst defense in total yards and 31st in passing yards given up. They are the 30th in rushing yards giving up, and they are the 31st rated defense in points. Probably the worst defense in the entire NFL, if not one of the top 3 worst defenses in the NFL, which makes me think that the Chiefs at home, Patrick Mahomes, have what it takes to win this game outright. But I just can't get there, man. I think the Ravens finally win one. They don't choke. Derrick Henry doesn't fumble. And I think the Ravens win this game 34-30 in a shootout, and Patrick Mahomes falls short. Next up, man. Packers, 6.5-point road favorites versus the Cowboys. Cowboys' offense numbers look good, but here's what we have to look at that. They're inflated because of the 400-yard passing game they had against the Giants. So when you take that away, it's not so great. Their defense ranked 32 in pass, 27th in points allowed. Obviously, another big storyline of this game, Micah coming back, his return to Dallas, and then CD Lamb being ruled out, it looks like, with his ankle sprain. On the other side of how poor the Dallas's defense is statistically, the Packers are first in points allowed at 14.2 points allowed per game. I think after that loss last week, this is a get-right spot for the Packers and a potential blowout. So give me the Packers to win. I think they cover 6.5 points easily, 31-17. Yeah, I think their defense is going to show out, and I think Micah is going to definitely get a couple sacks here. He's got him, man. Show out in Dallas. Last 2 games, man, the doubleheader on Monday night. First up, Jets on the road versus the Dolphins. Both of these teams looking not so hot, man. It's a divisional game here. Both of these defenses terrible, allowing over 30 points per game. I think the Dolphins just have a little bit more firepower on offense if things are to go right. Tua, Tyreek, Waddle, Devon Achane. I think that they can get it going, and the Dolphins are a night and day team, home and away. When they're playing at home in Miami in the sun, they play much better. So give me the Dolphins at home. I think I can trust them to win this one by at least 3 against the Jets. Get right spot for these guys at home as well. So give me the Dolphins to win and cover 27-23. I think they can do it. And last but not least, man, we have the Bengals on the road versus the Broncos. And I've said this a lot, but this is going to be another get right spot at home for Bo Nix and the boys, man. Bengals, one of the worst teams statistically on paper offensively. 32 in yards per game, 26 in points per game defensively given up. Um, they're not. There's not much hope for them. Hopefully, maybe Browning can get the ball. He can do the old Russell Wilson to Malik Neighbors to Jamar Chase. Just Browning, chuck it down there. Take it. T. Higgins or Jamar Chase will catch it. Barring that, I think this is a get right spot for the Broncos. I think they've had some heartbreaking, losses, some close games that they maybe should have won here of recent, and I think at home they really get comfortable and get things rolling here, and Bo Nix gets rolling, and this offense gets hot, and against a team like the Bengals, whose offensive line is giving up a lot of pressures, I think this Bonito and Allen and these guys can really get going. And I think this is a confidence booster, a big spot for the Broncos to kind of build something at home and carrying on some momentum into the season. So give me the Broncos to win and cover at home, 30-17. I think they dominate, man. And you already know what time it is. It's time for our best bets. Yeah. Let's get it, man. Let's go. Best bets of the week. Let me tell you what I got for y'all, man. I got 2 college games, 2 NFL games, and 1 money line parlay. We're going to keep it simple this week, man, because we need to hit this 7-6. This 7-6 in this right here is not good enough. I definitely need to go 4 for 4 this week so we can get that to 11-6. Because that's just embarrassing. So here we go, man. Number 1 on the college slate. Florida State -6.5. These guys are on fire. One of the best college teams right now, especially to bet on them early on. I think these guys absolutely roll on Friday, man. Virginia, not much to say. Offensively, they have some promise, but I don't think they can keep up. Laying less than a touchdown with Florida State in a game where I think they want to come out here and blow out to keep up, their top 10 status. Maybe try and bump into the top 5 if there's a loss. They're going to go for a blowout, and I think they potentially offensively have everything that it takes to, score 30 plus in this game. Next up, man, Texas A&m -6.5. Yeah, I'm big on these guys, man. I think these guys are in the same position, potential blowout spot. These guys are out here. They want to win. Auburn, their offensive line just was really struggling against Oklahoma, and I think that's where Texas A&m can take advantage. Aside from that, that stadium in Kyle Field, one of the hardest stadiums to play at. So Jackson Darnold with the new team going in there, I think it's going to be tough for him. I think this Texas A&m offense, averaging 42 points a game can really get rolling, and I think they can win this one by more than a touchdown. So for college football, man, we got FSU and Texas A&m, both -6.5, both to cover. Moving on into the NFL, we have one of our bounce back spots, man. The Packers -6.5. I think the Packers, this is an absolute bounce back spot for these guys, man. Embarrassing loss to the Browns. It's literally being investigated. I think that going up against Dallas in a stadium that's indoor, Jordan Love and this offense can really just get the ball going, air it out. A lot of momentum for these guys on offense against a Dallas defense that's just been absolutely struggling, blown coverages left and right every game. I think this is a spot where the Packers will come in here and really just beat up on these guys to get back and kind of get their name in the front of the NFC. Give me the Packers -6.5, and give me the Chargers -6.5 against the Giants in the kind of exact same scenario. You've got a matchup where you've got the Chargers, one of the leading passing offenses with Justin Herbert, against the Giants, one of the worst defensive, specifically passing defenses in the league. That matchup is horrendous. Not only that, but you're throwing in a rookie quarterback to make his very first start. I love Jackson Dart. I'm a big fan of Jackson Dart, but throwing him into that situation is just tough, especially going up against the Chargers defense that's got an extremely nasty front seven. Give me the Chargers, man. 6.5 points to cover. And now let's talk about our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 money lines. It's easy. It's the Bills. It's an automatic bill. It's an automatic win. I'm sorry. I love my Saints, but the Bills are an automatic win. Next up, we got the Packers. That's an automatic win right there. Get right spot. Chargers, automatic win. Get right spot. Lions, automatic win at home. And for our fifth spot to close it out, the last game of the week, man. Broncos at home, Monday night. Tie it all together. Put it in a bow. I just gave it to you. You're welcome. Hey, man. Thanks for watching, y'all. Much love. We are going to get right. We're going to get these best bets right, and I can guarantee us in the next week or two, we're going to have another road to $1 million bet. I feel it coming on, man. We had some big hits this last week on some first touchdown scores and some parlays and some MMA bets. If you want to catch all that other stuff, man, follow the Instagram. It's right down here somewhere, GomeyTV. Other than that, man, love you guys. Bet responsibly, man. And tune in next week. Peace.